This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome to The Secret to Everything. I am Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and as always, I am so appreciative of all the listeners around the world, in Canada and America, absolutely everywhere, that listen to this show so faithfully every week and get a hold of us and let us know how much they are enjoying this and enjoying our guests. And I just want to say we enjoy you so much, all the amazing listeners of the X-Zone Radio Network. So we do this show for you. Never want to forget that. Today, we have an amazing guest, but I want to chat just a couple minutes before I introduce her to you and share her precious book, and you will just love her. I not only consider her a powerful healer on the planet today, but I also consider her a friend. And you guys know I don't say that very often. So that should arouse your curiosity in itself. But I wanted to mention something that happened to me today that really, really struck me. And it struck me for a couple reasons. I was looking at investment properties today with my daughter, and I have a highly attuned energy system. So I understand the aura, I understand the chakras, I understand protection and the need to protect. I understand the flow of energy. I can see spirits, yada, yada. Okay, you guys get the point. The point is, I entered a house that happened to be 200 years old, and I got attacked by dark energies. And if you guys know anything about me, I've worked in the paranormal for years and years and years, and I should know better. So if I, who should know better, can get attacked by dark energy, and I have aura pictures to prove it, and I'll do a little video about it. So if you guys want to stumble over to my YouTube channel and find the video, you'll see my aura proof, because I took an aura in the car before I went in. I took an aura picture after I got attacked. It's super interesting, especially if you can interpret auras, or even if you just have common sense. But I just wanted to remind you guys to be so careful with the 12 layers of your energy field. You are energetic beings first, and we're going to be talking a lot about energy today. And Michelle is well acquainted with the things I'm talking about, I know. And I think you guys are going to really find this conversation fascinating. But I was just so led to share with you guys. There is so much, and Rob and I were talking before the show began, there's so much negative energy in the world today, and it sticks to us. And one of the easiest ways to get rid of it is to wash your hands, is to take a deep cleansing breath, is to actually ground yourself and put your bare feet on the earth, or touch a tree, as crazy as that sounds, or take a shower. Water's actually one of the best ways to kind of reset your electrical system. But all of that to say, I just want you guys to be really, really aware, whether you're super sensitive and familiar with energy or not. Do not get blindsided by the energy and all the lower densities going on the planet today. So hopefully we'll be giving you some tips today on how to deal with that. If you do want to learn more about this, secrettoeverything.com sponsors this show. And we are currently offering free chakra readings, which are absolutely crazy and incredible. You're like, what is she talking about? She took a picture of her aura. She took a picture of her chakras. Well, you can find out by signing up for our free gift, which is a free mini chakra aura reading. And that is on the website, secrettoeverything.com, if you are interested in that. So I'm going to stop blabbing. I'm at least going to introduce Michelle before the break. Michelle's like, why did I come on the show? So Michelle Manning-Kogler is a world-renowned transformational healer, motivational speaker, certified high-performance coach, and author of Quantum Soul Clearing, Healing the Scars Life Leaves on the Soul. Ooh, I love that. Don't you guys love that? The scars that life leaves on the soul. And I will tell you, 100% of everybody on this planet has some of those. She is the founder of the Quantum Soul Clearing Processes, which is a spiritual technology that helps people eliminate the emotional pain from the past and create powerful new ways of living joyless, I don't know how to say that word, joyously and Okay, I'm changing it. Help you guys live in joy and prosperity. We'll say that. For almost 30 years, Michelle has practiced in the fields of energy medicine, holistic health, meditation, and distance healing. She holds multiple professional certifications in energy medicine healing methods, nutrition, herbal medicine, and kinesiology, also called muscle testing. So now you guys can see why I get along so well with Michelle, because we overlap our knowledge base in a lot of areas. And I am actually not going to let you talk to Michelle because we are so close to the break, and you will see once Michelle and I start to talk, the show will be over. You guys will be like, where did that show go? They just yapped and yapped and yapped and yapped. So we always have plenty to talk about, and Michelle has so much to share. We're going to dig into her book and dig into her story, because I know you're wondering, how the heck did this woman learn so much and be so wise and create this incredible method? And I know you're really excited to hear all about it. I encourage you, and we'll have to let her tell us her website and all that, but I encourage you even now to go to Amazon and pick up her book. So when we come back, we are going to be talking about Michelle's journey, and then we're going to dig into her method and have her share some things from her book, all here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Take a step back in time and discover old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing Restaurant in Fellsmere, Florida. Enjoy delicacies such as frog legs, gator tail, catfish, and swamp cabbage, or enjoy the more traditional cuisine such as hand-cut Angus steaks, ribs, and seafood. Join us for breakfast with a southern flair featuring sweet potato pancakes, biscuits and gravy, and much more. Planning a party? Marsh Landing's private dining rooms can accommodate groups from 8 to 80 people. While you visit, enjoy the historic pictures, artifacts, and stories that line the walls. Marsh Landing is truly a unique experience. Marsh Landing Restaurant, 44 North Broadway in historic downtown Fellsmere, or visit marshlandingrestaurant.com. Marsh Landing, Old Florida cuisine at its best.
If you're a seeker, don't miss the inspiring book Shamanic Awakening, Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Cochran's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers throughout the Americas. Sandy's initiations across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt, combined with her knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth, influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private readings, sacred international journeys, a meditative CD, and her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate your earth walk and create a deeper connection to yourself. Find this and more at her website, starwalkervisions.com.
Welcome back to The Secret to Everything. This is Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and I am here with my good friend, Michelle. I'm just going to call her a quantum energy healer, but she is so much more. Welcome to The Secret to Everything, Michelle.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you. We always have so much fun when we're together. So
I know, I was thinking we should have done a 2-hour show, but you can come back. We'll let you come back later. Yeah, you can come back and back and back. Maybe you can even we'll talk about that later. All right. She's like, what? What am I getting myself into? So since a lot of people, this is a worldwide audience and it's a massive audience, and a lot of people may never have heard of you. I know that's hard to believe, but for those that do not know you, let's kind of go backwards. Usually everyone goes like backwards and then goes forwards. Let's start with now. Tell us kind of what you are doing now. What is your job? What is your career? What is your mission?
Well, my mission is to really help people become extremely clear about what they want. And we all think we know what we want, but I think in many ways we know what we don't want more than what we do want. So it's finding that clarity, and then the underlying patterns, the underlying programs that we all have that have been inherited or embedded or adopted because of our societal and religious cultures and our friends, family, workplaces. We pick up programming everywhere. And so what I do is help people identify those things that really no longer serve them, because when we're really close to what we're doing, we can't see our own stuff. So my job is to really assist people so that they have that clarity and that understanding of who they really are, so that they can play so much more effectively and powerfully in the world, because most people that I work with have huge, huge missions in life. I work with some of the world's top thought leaders, and so that's what I do.
That's all? No, I'm kidding. I
know, that's it.
I like giving my friends a hard time. If you're my friend, you should probably think like 4 times before you say yes to coming on the show, because I'm going to razz you a little bit while you're here. I'm just teasing. You know what I love about what you said? You said one of my favorite words, and I used to kind of not really address this in my work, but we also address in a different way, a different door, but we also address programming. And you know what's so shocking to me, Michelle, is that every day, and especially now for some reason, it's like I'm in these really weird deep layers of deprogramming, and it just slays me. A lot of times I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm programmed to do that. I'll give you an example. We just came through Valentine's Day recently, and I'm in the store and I'm buying my girls like these $7 cards, and I'm like, why am I buying $7 Valentine's Day cards? No, I'm not really slamming Valentine's Day, and I'm certainly not slamming cards necessarily. But do you kind of feel the energy of the programming in that, Michelle? Like, there's a million things I could do, right, to express love to my kids, including, here's a thought, how about buy some stationery and write a little letter or send an email or snap. I mean, there's a million things, or get balloons or flowers or take them out to. We are so freaking programmed, Michelle. And that's a surface programming. That's not even like life and death, but wouldn't you agree there are some spiritual areas, emotional areas, physical areas that can almost be like super destructive or imbalancing to us in many areas of our lives?
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting, when I had a moment of, I'm going to be very candid here. I had a moment of, oh dear, she's asking me what I'm doing now. And I have really taken the last 3 or 4 months to just stop. I had some really extensive dental surgery, and there's so much programming held in our teeth. And, but looking at all of that energy and all of those old belief systems that I had just taken for granted. We don't really examine our belief systems until something comes up, and then we're like, oh, wait just a minute. And what I've found is how much programming, I do this work all the time, and I've done vast amounts of work on myself, and I'm sitting here thinking, wow, where did that come from? Wow, where did that come from? Oh my gosh, but wait, there's more. Oh my gosh. And so, and it kind of threw me for a loop, I'm not going to lie, because it was like, I do this work. How have I missed this? And what I have found is that this programming, all of this stuff comes up in layer after layer after layer, and we don't get to see it. We don't get to work with it until we're really ready. And then sometimes, like in my case, it kind of swamps you. And you think, oh my gosh, I'm this, abject failure, and the story then starts in our heads, and I can't handle this, and then what am I going to do? And oh my gosh, if my community can see me now, and blah, 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 and the stuff, all the stuff that starts coming up. And I thought, wow, you are just a hot, wringing, wet mess. This is what happened to you? And it's this programming, and it was finally ready to come up to be addressed. So I love that we're having this conversation because, like you, we just, I think all of us go through life thinking, oh, this is just the way it is. Oh, this is just the way it is. And it's not. It's just not. It's the way that we've made it to be. But we are these holographic projectors of our own reality. And so if we're projecting something we don't want, then what do we replace it with? And that's kind of where the quantum soul clearing process comes into being, and why it was given to me and developed, so that we can take this journey and make it a lot more efficient and more, what's the word I'm looking for? So we can heal more quickly. Time is kind of short on this planet. And so, the more effectively that we can use the tools that we have to transform our lives and get us more in touch with our connection to source, the better. Much better.
Absolutely. I want to go back to something you casually mentioned that actually aroused my curiosity, because this is an area that it's kind of a hole in my education. I hate to, how we can be like, I know a lot about a lot, but we only know what we know. I always say that. And I know what I know really well, but what I don't know at all. And one of the areas I don't know that much about, but I know it resonates as truth, is you said we hold so much programming in our teeth. And I'm sorry, I'm just so curious about that. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely. So our teeth are developed in utero in the first trimester. So whatever mom's going through, whatever generational, whatever DNA segments are coming from both mom and dad are instantaneously programmed into our DNA. So those core belief systems that have been passed down from generation to generation are stuck and programmed into the teeth. Well, we lose our baby teeth, when we're small. So some of that programming goes away, but unless we have actually been working on it in our society, our Western cultures do not, until recently, have not really supported a lot of personal introspection and that personal work until probably the last maybe 20 years, and only in the last 5 to 10 has it become, really mainstream to be able to look at, wow, there's some really emotional stuff going on for me. What's really happening? but those teeth hold all, and I mean all, of the generational programming that we have received from our generations. And some people say, it only goes back 6 or 7 generations. But that's not what I have found in my own work. And probably like you, yeah. I mean, I've gone back sometimes as much as 500 and 600 generations finding programming. And, and it's like, whoa, now that's huge. That's really huge. And all of that programming has influenced our ancestors and how we were raised. So, going back into the teeth, each one of those teeth, each socket is also connected with an energy meridian in our bodies.
Yes.
It's connected to all the organs in our bodies, and our teeth are so much more important than we've given them credit for.
So wait,
And
let's say you have a diseased tooth. Does that mean that is negatively stressing or draining or weakening that meridian? Like, you know what I mean? Like if you have a tooth, I don't even know, maybe pulled, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, or maybe, what is that, root canal, or I don't know, anything, cavity. Does it all affect that meridian and all of that?
Yes, it absolutely does. And what's interesting to me is how our physical health is correlated with cavities, root canals, missing teeth. Actually, missing teeth aren't as big of a deal, and I know the general dentistry population is now going to be knocking on my door and screaming at me.
Tomatoes.
So, I know, like, bear with me here for just a second. But that, I started seeing a holistic dentist, and he's like, oh, sweetheart, you have problems. And it's like, I know, I've had problems for 30 years. I mean, I was bedridden thinking,
Wow.
I was bedridden, and come to find out, there were multiple reasons for my diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. But what I'm coming to understand is how critical the health of my teeth were in that disease process. I've had multiple root canals. I had my wisdom teeth pulled, which created these what's called cavitations, and it's these areas of infection because they didn't clean out the area correctly and take all the ligaments out. So, as he's pulling, and I look at, as he's pulling out this infection and he's photographing everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder I haven't felt well. Oh my gosh,
you
no wonder.
saw it? Wait, back up. You saw that infection? Like that grossness? Like you saw that?
Oh yeah. I got to see the pictures, the cleanup pictures, and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. This is just disgusting. But it explains on a physiological level why I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with my health. Wow. So there are emotional components that are significantly interacting and creating the health. And where our emotions go, our physiology goes. Mm-hmm. So held within those teeth were the emotions and the, I'm not good enough, I'm not, I can't begin to tell you. We don't have enough time on this program to go into them all. But all of that programming was so stuck in there. And it wasn't until I had the surgery that was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more going on than what I thought. And what I'm realizing is how significant our dental health plays into our physical health. And so, that's really kind of a new area where I am beginning to focus, because our traditional dental industry says, no, root canals are really good for you, and you keep your teeth no matter what. Well, I am beginning to disagree with that significantly, because I have seen and experienced what's happened to me personally from, keep them at all costs. And it has cost me. It's cost me multiple joints. It's cost me, life, the vibrancy in my health and well-being. And so
that's crazy, Michelle. Okay, I'm gonna cut you off there. This is so crazy. You don't know how crazy. I'll tell you when we get back from the break. You're listening to Michelle Manning-Kogler, author of Quantum Soul Clearing: Healing the Scars Life Leaves on the Soul and in Your Mouth. I added that, you guys. right here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the four corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention, specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A soul balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world.
You are listening to The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and I am here with my dear, dear friend, Michelle Manning-Kogler, author of Quantum Soul Clearing, Healing the Scars Life Leaves on the Soul. But Michelle is not just an author. She is a powerful healer. And one thing I love about Michelle, which I also actually like about myself, is we mentioned casually creation and living in creation, and I'd love to dig much deeper into that. But I love that Michelle like learns something herself and then says, you know what? I know, my clients and the people I work with are experiencing this too. How can I bring what I learned, and extrapolate it and make it even more powerful and help a ton of other people? So Michelle does that. I do that, and I love that empowerment and that sharing of new information. I love that you don't just get stuck. You're like, okay, here's the method, and you only apply it this way. You know what I mean, Michelle? Like you actually innovate, and now you're bringing in what you've learned and like where life has taken you. You're bringing that into your work. Would you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think a lot of world healers do that because their own experiences have been so challenging for them. And, I back when I was very first diagnosed and so sick, I just remember thinking, and this was way before the internet, so, there weren't a lot of resources. And, I had to do it myself. And I just always thought, if I ever have the answers to something, maybe I can spare somebody else a massive amount of suffering that I've also experienced. And that's why I do what I do, because I love finding shortcuts. I love finding, spirit is ultimately efficient. And
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Spirit has these shortcuts. And when I'm working with my non-physical teams like you do, they're like, I'll say, okay, team online. And they're like, yeah, remedial team online. So they have a really funny sense of humor. But they're like, yeah, we've already got this. You just catch up with us, okay? But, spirit really is ultimately efficient in the way that it works with us and in its healing process. And we make things so difficult and so complicated that it's like, why are we doing this? This is crazy. And that's really why, the quantum soul clearing process came into being, was as a way to shortcut that healing process. Look, I understand I don't feel well. I understand that I'm feeling, angry, neglected, abandoned, whatever feeling it is that somebody's experiencing. I understand that. How do I deal with it? How do I sit with the pain of my emotional stuff without stuffing it, without creating more buildup in this amazing body that is designed to support the spirit in physical form? How do I work with my body and at the soul level to bring in my gifts and talents? And that's really the question that every one of us need to be asking ourselves, and it's the one that I demand of my clients. What is it that you're dealing with? What do you want to experience? Let's get there as quickly as we possibly can, the most effective way that we can. And, let's begin to heal at that soul level where, we may have had some trauma that has impacted us. Whether we think it's a huge trauma or not, at some level there's been a significant trauma for every single one of us. And some of us, don't seem to be as affected until something big happens. And then we go into this crisis and we think, oh my gosh, now what? And that's really the power of this whole process and the work that I do, and I think the work that you do too, don't you think?
I do. I have so much to say to that. I'm just going to say really quick, because we're going to stop talking about this, because the best way to experience Michelle is to experience Michelle. And so we're going to let you guys really, you think you've experienced Michelle? You haven't experienced Michelle. You've experienced a Michelle process, which we will do in a minute. And I want to make sure we have a decent chunk of time, because I know Michelle processes. They can be kind of long and wonderful, but kind of long. So I want to make sure we don't crash up against the mic and I'm like, excuse me, Michelle's off in process land and I'm calling her back. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to have about 8 minutes by the time I finish blathering about this. But I love what you say, because, you said spirit is so efficient. I tell my clients, and I always think this sounds so bad that I admit this, but I always say I'm the laziest person in the world. That's why I love tech. That's why I love shortcuts. I always, I'm like better, faster, harder. Why suffer? Like you and I've suffered way longer than anybody in suffering of any kind, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. If you are in pain right now, it's 1 second too long, right? So we all desire answers, and what I think is so beautiful, some people may resonate with Michelle and may desperately need what Michelle offers. Some people may resonate with me and, desire to have what I offer. And some people may be like, those two are absolutely crazy, and they may resonate with somebody else. But I love that. Don't you love that? I love the magnetics of it. I love that the right person comes across your path at the right time. And I just have to tell you before I allow you, do you like that? I allow you.
Allow me.
Before I ask you so generously and kindly to do I love the words I choose, sometimes cracks me up, to do your process. But I think it's just so cool. Even the dental thing, do you believe that this has been being screamed at for like the last 6 months? You need to go to a holistic dentist. And I don't even know anything about this. So I think it's really cool. It's like magnetics and, the law of attraction. And you're kind of like providing that, again, a different way of screaming, saying that this is important and you do need to address this, with your children and with yourself and with, and then when I learn about it with my clients too. So I'm going to be quiet and let you do your thing, Michelle, because I think that experience of quantum soul clearing is really great.
Yeah, I second that. So just tap in if you would, so that tap into your audience, and if you'll just give me a frequency that you feel is important for them to release.
It's weird because I feel a lot of anxiety right now. Not me. I feel there's a lot of anxiety and fear, maybe even depression, but a lot of fear and anxiety.
Okay, perfect. So everybody drop inside and just take a deep breath. And when I say drop inside, I like dropping down straight into my belly, right around the belly button area, just so that I'm connected. When you do Pilates or you do yoga or anything, they ask you to find the core so that you're centered and balanced, and that's what I want you to do. And just stay in that space. Listen to my voice, and I'll just walk through this process for efficiency's sake so that you understand and so you get the feel of it. So I'm going to ask you to bring up the energy of frustration, of chaos, of fear and uncertainty, and that unstable sensation that happens, that kind of fluttery, scary feeling. There you go. And we're going to ask our teams, each one of our highest selves, and each one of our non-physical medical teams to be with us, so that as we begin to clear this energy up and out of our body, we're going to allow the energy to come up out of the physical body. We're going to give the intention. We're going to send it into highest, purest origin light, into that pure God source energy, so that that energy is up and out of our bodies. There we go. And there we go. So we're going to ask that all of this energy of frustration and fear, anxiety, that chaotic energy, be removed from our bodies, minds, souls, and beings. We're going to clear it out of our bodies, our energy bodies, our souls, our entire beings, all of our systems, our egos and their systems, our mitochondria, all of their generations and all of their systems, throughout all of our generations and their systems, throughout our proteins, environments, associations, and entanglements, throughout our personal and the collective consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness, throughout all personal, planetary, and universal core operating systems, all systems within those systems, and all interfaces and connections to those systems, and how it's been affecting us in any way, shape, or form, time, place, or space, throughout all levels, layers, and depths of our entire being. Take a breath in and allow that energy to come up and simply release. Release, 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 release. We're going to stop any and all replication processes faster than they can replicate. We're going to break and clear all of the vows and contracts that we've ever had throughout all lifetimes and existences to running these energies for ourselves or anybody else. There we go. Highest, most comprehensive vow and contract clearing. And then part of the process is a forgiveness process. And as we release and forgive others as well as ourselves, we release the karmic ties that bind us to the emotions, that bind us to the circumstances, and that bind us to the other individuals where these initially were traumatized. So these words, I will say, allow them to flow through you as if you're saying them yourself. I willingly forgive myself for any and all actual or perceived hurt or harm I may have caused myself or any others, or that any others have caused me or any others, with all of these energies of frustration, of chaos, fear, anxiety, even depression, and everything they represent. I willingly love and forgive myself. I willingly love and forgive all others. All others willingly love and forgive me. I willingly love and forgive God Source, and God Source willingly loves and forgives me too. I willingly love and forgive my highest self, and my highest self willingly loves and forgives me. I am absolutely, ultimately, infinitely, quantumly loved and forgiven. I now willingly release all of these energies, all of these frequencies, everything that has been sought, found, gathered, and bound, and everything that represents, and go in peace, love, joy, harmony, health, wealth, and abundance. Take a breath in. And all of the areas, all lifetimes and existences where these energies have been running, we're just going to give permission and agreement that these energies are going to release, and we're going to begin replacing them now with joy, peace, comfort, presence. There we go. Ooh, I almost forgot something very important here. Sorry, I was so excited to do the download. Let's clear, transform, flash burn, purify, and sterilize all of those old frequencies out of existence, back to and through each of their source and or sources, and clear them so that they never existed to begin with, ever. There we go. Now let's download peace, peace of mind, comfort, soul salve, quantum cosmic salve. Let's download abundance, clarity, friendship, helpful, loving people. Let's download self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-knowing. Let's download safety and security, validation, worthiness, and wholeness. Let's download any other quantum source light frequencies that each and every one of us need and require, that may not have been said but that are needed in any and all languages. Please download, infuse, implement, and integrate all of these new supportive frequencies and everything they represent. Clear and remove all old limiting patterns and programs, replace with the new frequencies and everything they represent at all levels, layers, and depths of our entire being. Take a breath in and release, and feel as these frequencies and anything else that you want to add to your own personal clearing as you're listening, just download those frequencies, allow them to fill the cells, the molecules, the atoms, and the subatomic particles of body, mind, soul, and being, all the way down to the tiniest, most infinitesimal Planck unit.
Michelle, I'm going to have to cut you off. We have to go to break, and you just experienced a quantum soul clearing by Michelle Manning-Kogler. Woohoo! Right here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? I'm Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and on The Secret to Everything, we will merge the practical with open investigation into all realms of the mysterious. We will talk to cutting-edge alternative health practitioners, those who inspire and motivate you in business and life, and of course, we will share stories of the paranormal, conspiracy, and cryptozoology. You will transform because of the frequency I carry, the frequencies my guests carry. Life may never be the same after you listen to this program, for the secret to everything is for you, the listener, for those who desire more in every area of their lives and believe that it can still be found. Listen and discover thesecrettoeverything.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Welcome back to The Secret to Everything. I'm Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and we just experienced a quantum soul clearing by the amazing and wonderful Michelle Manning-Kogler, author of Quantum Soul Clearing, Healing the Scars Life Leaves on the Soul. I want to make sure that we get all your information out because I know people, and I know we had to cut you off, and I'm sorry. I knew that was going to happen because I know your clearings. I know you get the energy and you just go, and I do that too. And it's funny. I just have to ask you this question out of curiosity before we give your information, but have you ever been, I know you have, but I just have to hear your story, but I was just on a telesummit a couple weeks ago, and I did a clearing, and Michelle, it just slays me. I'm like, please don't let this happen. Please don't let this happen. And she made me do it like halfway through the middle of the show. And I don't like doing that because of what happened. She did not come back on the mic for 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
10 minutes. And I'm like, and this isn't my first rodeo. And so I've decided that, in the old days when I was like kind of green, I'd be like, hello, and sound really stupid. Now I'm just quiet. I'm like, this ain't my show. So I'm not taking the responsibility for it. Sorry, you guys, for the 8. I am college educated. I live in the South, so we adopt some of the language here. But do not write me. But anyway, has that happened to you? I'm just curious because even I felt myself going, and I'm a pretty tough old bird here with processes that, you get in the energy of it. Has that ever happened to you when you do a process and you come back and the host actually lets you finish it, of course. And then there's just silence. Has that happened to you?
Oh, yes. It's like, hello, anyone? and pretty soon they're like, oh, I was just so out of it. I just lost track. And it's like, I know. And the process really can shift energy that quickly. So just out of curiosity, check in briefly for me and see how effective that was for clearing the energy that for your client or for the
collective consciousness audience. Yeah, I thought it was great. It actually feels I'm just going to be really specific because you guys know I'm pretty specific, but it actually feels like there was a lot on the left side of a lot of people's bodies, including really in the heart chakra and heart area. And that feels really freed up. There was a lot of energy draped over people's shoulders, in the back of their head, on the top of their head, and around their heart. And I saw a lot of that go. And kind of even some really cool stuff. Even some people were armored, and I literally saw like this armor. It didn't like crack. It just like broke open and fell off. So really super cool stuff. So that's kind of what I got out of that.
Well, and I love that you can see and feel all of that, and it's it's not me just saying, okay, that's all been done. So I love having that validation, just that second opinion. So
yeah, I love that. I think that's a brilliant question. But tell us, gosh, Michelle, seriously, I feel like we've been talking like 2 minutes. It's crazy. But tell me and the audience, what are you doing now? Do you have any upcoming projects? Tell us about your website. Tell us about your social media. Tell us how to get in touch with you.
So quantumsoulclearing.com is the website. And, of course, you can always find me on Facebook. Michelle Kogler, I think, is, and I also have a free gift for you. It is quantumsoulclearing.com/the secret to everything. So that people, who are here on your show can go pick up those audios. So you'll actually get a prep to work and some other things.
That's great.
What's coming up for me is really talking about how to heal and some of the factors that we don't consider, myself included up until now, about, the more practical things. I can go as far down the woo-woo rabbit hole as anybody.
I attest to that.
I know, as far as healing and energy processes. But sometimes there's a physiological reason. And, if you've got harbored bacteria in your teeth, it's a big deal. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about that. But I'm also starting a whole new show called Rise Beyond Limitations. And we will be doing some group processes and following some individuals throughout the whole process to watch their transformation and to kind of hold that energetic space for the entire group, so that as we all process, we watch the transformation in these people. And that way there's documentation, there are case studies, and it will show the effectiveness of this process. And you get to be part of this group collective where we use the energies together to really transform our lives. So I'm really excited about it. I probably haven't described it really, really well, but if you if you get my free audios with a gift, then you'll learn more about it in the coming weeks. So we're about ready to roll it out, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I like that about you too. I'm all about like clinicals, and maybe just from having a clinical practice. I don't know. It's, old habits die hard. And coming, way back, I worked for the heart transplant team at OSU. So coming just from that really, really medical, background, I think they do stuff like clinicals. They do stuff like case studies. And I like that. I think it really is so educational for us all. And my habits, that I did bring from the medical community have actually served me so well, because I think it's the keen observation of how people change and shift and grow, and even the things that don't work, I'm sure you would agree, we all learn from as practitioners. Even the things that don't work as well or don't seem to be hitting with as many people, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to teach about that as much. I'm not going to, what I'm saying? Like, I think we learn both, from both sides of those observations. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And what I love about case studies and about the whole clinical piece is you get to actually watch and measure the progress or the lack of progress, so that you can identify what else is needed. So if it's just, simply an emotional issue, great. Those things can be resolved. But if you also have a physiological issue going on simultaneously, like I have had, then there's another level of healing that needs to be addressed so that all of it can come together. It's not just, and in this industry, this is my big pet peeve.
Here's another 3-hour show.
I know, ruh-roh. But my pet peeve is, just pray it away, say the affirmations, it'll go away, think it away, feel it away, whatever. And there is some validity to that, but it's not the entire answer. And then we're shamed for, oh, well, you just didn't pray hard enough. Oh, you just didn't believe hard enough. Oh, you haven't done your work. And, pardon my language, but that's a crock of shit. So, okay, there you have it.
I love that. I observed, one of the things I do is this beautiful little thing, which some people probably don't think is so beautiful, but it's called junk consciousness. And real authentic practitioners that are doing the work never have to fear me and my junk consciousness videos, because you're going to come up as authentic, right? But I run so many healer, teacher, authors, energy field, and I do this to show the people in my groups that they are actually doing the work, and they are more integrated. They have higher frequency. They have they don't have as many issues as people that are foremost in the field. And I do it to empower my people, and I do it to help them learn discernment and how to feel different energies. But in doing that, I've ran probably hundreds of practitioners now. One thing I see, you mentioned it, emotionally, they don't deal, a lot of healers, a lot of psychics, a lot of teachers, a lot of spiritual authors, they don't deal with their stuff, Michelle. They aren't doing the work. They're teaching about the work. They have theories about the work and ideas. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I have the exact same experience. I'm seeing the exact same thing. There are a lot of industry leaders who talk a really good game. And, we all get caught up in our stuff. We all have the same 24 hours a day that True. But and if you're teaching something that you're not actually doing yourself, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth, for me, it meant if I'm not doing it, then I'm a hypocrite. I'm not going to ask my clients to do something different than what I'm willing to do myself, because that's just not who I am. And if I'm not willing to do it, then there's a reason. So, what is that reason? And I think we need to be models. The model for our work. Walk your walk, talk your talk, and there are days that none of us feel like doing anything. I'm not going to lie. I've had those days too, but it's easier to get yourself out of a blue funk streak, so to speak, if you are willing to simply stop. I call it stop, drop, and roll. Stop what you're doing, drop down into your core being, and roll out your clearing statements. Do your work, because you can shift the energy by doing this process in just minutes. You really can. And who wants to stay crabby all the time? Not me. Life's way too short.
Well, my kids will probably be calling you after this show. Okay, one more time. Throw out your information, girlfriend, and we will have you back soon, because we can talk about any topic and dig in all day long. So share your information one more time, and thank you so much for being on The Secret to Everything.
Thanks so much for having me. So my contact information, Michelle@quantumsoulclearing.com. That's my email. Go to quantumsoulclearing.com to learn more about the process. I will say that I have a whole new website coming up when we do the Rise Beyond Limitations. So it will be MichelleManning-Kogler.com. There's a whole new bunch of stuff coming out in the next few months. So come stay tuned, and we will shift this energy together, because there's plenty going on right now.
Plenty of work to do, and there's plenty of work for all of us. Amen. Well, thank you so much. We will talk soon, and thank you guys for listening. as always, Cynthia Ruiz will be on next week for a 2-hour show right here on The Secret to Everything with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. Thank you so much for listening, and we love you guys.